is R. Gary Spencer. I am Senior Counsel to the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund, also known as the LDF. I have lived and practiced law in Atlanta for more than 30 years, and I have worked daily to minimize incarceration. LDF is the nation's first and foremost civil rights and racial justice legal organization. Founded in 1940 under the leadership of Thurgood Marshall, LDF was launched at a time when the nation's aspirations for equality and due process of law were stifled by widespread state-sponsored racial inequalities. From that era to the present, LDF's mission has been transformative to achieve racial justice, equality, and an inclusive society using the power of law, narrative, research, and people to defend and advance the full dignity and citizenship of black people in America. On behalf of LDF, I appreciate the opportunity to address Fulton County's proposed contract with the City of Atlanta to incarcerate up to 700 people at the Atlanta City Detention Center. This is an alarming reversal. People across Atlanta have worked for years to move this city out of the business of mass incarceration and in a direction that could serve as a model for not only the southern region, but for the nation. While action is needed to reduce overcrowding at the Fulton jail, this proposal is not the right solution. Fulton County should implement policies and practices which have been proven to lead to a reduction in the number of people incarcerated. Policies such as the elimination of the use of cash bail where possible, increasing the availability of pre-arrest diversion and treatment, and strengthening community supports with public health and public safety. We agree that swift action is needed to address the untenable conditions at the Fulton County Jail. No one should have to sleep on the floor or on a pod, as reported by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and other sources. But these problems at Fulton County are not new. As you have heard, Fulton County has been in court for decades for jail overcrowding, among other issues. Conditions would improve and then deteriorate again. Each time, Fulton County tried to solve its problem by leasing more jail space. Each time, it has failed. Many of the people in Fulton County custody do not need to be there. Pretrial incarceration runs contrary to the constitutional principle that you are presumed innocent and have the right to liberty if you've not been convicted of a crime. Yet the Southern Center for Human Rights testified that as of July 20th, Fulton County held 630 people on bail that they could not afford to pay. Put another way, if Atlanta moves forward with incarcerating these individuals on behalf of the county, it is supporting the practice of wealth-based detention. As a result of pretrial incarceration, people lose their jobs, their homes, and sometimes even the custody of their children. The Bureau of Justice Statistics also notes a strong correlation between pretrial detention and suicide rates. As LDF's Thurgood Marshall Institute explained in its report, Pretrial Justice Without Money Bail or Risk Assessments, Principles for Racially Just Bail Reform, pretrial incarceration disproportionately harms Black and Latinx people. A 2014 study revealed that Black people were 10% more likely to experience pretrial incarceration than white people accused of the same crime. For misdemeanor property offenses, Black people had a 20% higher chance of receiving pretrial incarceration than white people charged with the same offense. Rather than trying the same failed strategy, Fulton County should reduce its overcrowding in its jail long-term by reconsidering the use of cash bail and prioritizing people on lower level charges for release. The City of Atlanta decreased its jail population beginning in 2018, partly because of the decision it would no longer incarcerate people for ICE, and that helped Atlanta's population fall from over 400 people in 2018 to the 30 or 50 people there today. It would be hypocritical for the city to vote today to enable Fulton County to continue holding people in cages due to an inability to pay. Furthermore, many people currently held in Fulton County struggle with mental health or substance abuse issues, and that should be addressed with treatment and support rather than jail. As of July 20th, 650 people were incarcerated in Fulton County Jail for non-complex and misdemeanor charges, including drug possession, shoplifting, and criminal trespass. According to Fulton County Superior Court Chief Judge Robert McBurney, there are 100 or so familiar faces booked a dozen times a year. There's a great case to make that they're not offenders, he said. They're going to jail because they're unwell. Fulton County should follow the example of other jurisdictions around the country that have invested in community-based response services and pre-arrest diversion alternatives that can reduce the jail population and reduce crime. For example, the Cincinnati Police Department implemented evidence-based strategies, including referring people to social services, like we do with PAD, after one of the jails closed in 2008, reducing the county's available jail space by 36%. As a result of these alternatives, violent crime instances dropped 39%, and property crime incidents dropped 19%. According to Fulton County Judge McBurney, mentioned earlier, a pre-trial arrest diversion program in Fulton County could divert 10,500 bookings a year and move 4,400 police custody admissions to Grady Hospital's emergency facility. The contract with Fulton County proposes a significant step in the wrong direction. Reimagining the ACDC Task Force report released in June 2020 detailed recommendations for converting the jail into a center for equity. The Center for Equity would be a multifaceted center for skills building, economic mobility, and crime prevention. The center would have long-term benefit for the community. Last Monday, the Public Service Commission heard testimony indicating that a job training and placement center, in partnership with corporate partners like CVS, would help people in Atlanta earn $183 million per year in wages. The proposed contract will likely delay ACDC's decommissioning and conversion, while doing nothing to address the problems that are driving Fulton County's incarceration rate. Atlanta should not delay in plans to decommission ACDC in order to facilitate Fulton County's short-sighted plan to reduce overcrowding. Rather than returning to the same failed strategies, Fulton County should invest in community-based response services and pre-arrest diversion alternatives and eliminate the use of cash bail where possible, which can solve its incarceration problem while addressing public health and safety needs. Distinguished members of this council, we ask that you work with Fulton County to support evidence-based solutions that can lower the jail population and further racial equity while protecting public safety. We urge you to vote no on the proposed contract. Thank you.